Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Today we got a great introduction I'm doing here with my friend Rob Glass and Nancy Mullen, a top agent in New York who's moved to South Carolina, helping folks all over the place make good moves, and wanting to welcome her today to eXp Realty. We were having a great conversation offline about all the opportunities and all the ways that you can structure things here at eXp, and just wanted to say welcome. So we jump in here and let everybody else listen in on the conversation.
Yeah, that's great, Jay.
All right. So Nancy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. So we're talking about, just before we came on here live, all the ways that you can help agents at eXp, which is something that you had done previously with the company you were with before, and you were a top agent there and quite successful and helped a lot of other agents get started and find success in their businesses. And so, what was it, I guess, that originally, and I know the answer to this because we just talked about it, but what was it?
For the rest of
the people who need to know. It's so funny because it's such a, when you know the answer, it's like, this is so obvious. Like every person should be at eXp if they just understood this one thing. But like for your situation, being in New York and moving to South Carolina, I'm sure that had something to do with it when you looked at the cost associated with being at the brokerage you were at in both markets. But when did you start to look and how many times did you say no to somebody that talked about eXp before you actually looked at it? Like, what was the process that you kind of went through before you came to the conclusion that you decided to join?
Well, I was already at the point, because I was with my other agency. I was really upset because I wasn't treated fairly at all. So I was kind of like looking around, just waiting for something, for God to kind of put somebody in my life to show me where I need to go. I had two other agents actually in New York wanting me to jump ship and go to eXp. And I was like, nah, because it was more of a sales type pitch to me. And then lo and behold, Rob called me up because I was I put out an ad for HUD, right? And I said, I only want to do it for 1 month because I want to see how that goes. So he called me because my 1 month was over and he got my number through that. And he wanted to just check out, well, is this good or not? And we just got to talking. And I told him where I am right now, what agency I was with. And I was asking him questions. And Rob was great because Rob did not pursue me to switch to eXp. His call was more about, is it beneficial to him to go ahead and purchase this thing? So it was a really nice conversation because I knew it wasn't just a sales pitch.
Right.
So, I started asking questions and Rob was answering them for me. And ever since then, Rob has been great as my mentor and my sponsor. He has always, every day, contacted me via text or through phone just to make sure that I'm okay, which I've never had in the past. So it just, the whole outlook of eXp and the whole way the eXp runs is it's the same as this other agency I was with, but it's more meaningful because the agents and your sponsors, they care. They literally care. And not only do you have that end of the spectrum, but also the money end. So eXp works for the agents and it's only one company worldwide. So it was like I wasn't having to go from marketplace to marketplace in two different states and have to deal with two different caps at the same time. I only have to deal with one cap and everybody is equal and everybody cares. And it's just a wonderful program. And now that I'm getting more and more into it, the eXp world and the KV core, there's always somebody that you can contact to get you information. Whereas before I would have to wait, and I am not a very patient person.
Right, right.
So I need to have answers now. So it's a really good forum for any new agent or any agent that wants to switch to come on over and just let us talk to you, because it's a no-brainer to move from where you are to where I am now.
Right. No question. You said a lot of great things in that. And one of them I think is, the financial alignment piece, that, the revenue share. Everybody thinks, it's a recruiting company. Well, all brokerages are recruiting companies. There's just certain people that get compensated and others don't. And typically agents don't get compensated when they bring an agent to the company. They don't, they get a gift card or they get something, something nice, but not usually something significant like the ability to earn a little bit of revenue share off of their business for as long as they're at the company. Well, what that created is it creates a reason for us to help other agents join the company and continue to help them, because if you're more successful at eXp, then we're going to earn a little bit more revenue as you do more deals. And so that one little tweak on the business model and having all of us financially aligned just makes it where we actually have we want to make the time to help you and care. It's not that we didn't care before. There was no time. If you had to go out and sell houses and that's the only way you earn a living, then you don't really have the time to help anybody else, really. You can be really nice and help agents, but like at the end of the day, I'm not going to wake up thinking about how I can best help you. And that one little tweak in the model makes all the difference in the world. And an agent that may be successful in real estate or not, ultimately, long term. And so super cool part of the business model. I think a lot of people don't really quite understand it. And it's hard. It's one of those things that's hard to explain until you experience it, right? Like until you're like, okay, I've not had somebody call me every day and check in on me before. That's different, right? And so it's a cool feeling, and it's one of those things like anytime you're in any type of business and you're selling something, you want people on the other end of that to be like, oh my gosh, that was so much better than the way you sold it to me, right? Like, and that's I feel like that's the experience most agents get to have. Coming over and partnering with us at eXp. So very well said. Very well said.
Well, thank you. It's a good company to work for, so there's really not much to, it's all right there. So
right. And so, Rob, how did that conversation go when you finally started talking about eXp? Did you kind of see the math in your head as the difference, or what was it? You're a smart guy, so I'm sure you probably picked up on that. But what else? What was what were you did you see for her when you decided to really kind of try to help her with understanding the model?
Yeah, no. When we first started talking, like Nancy mentioned, she was involved in a program that I was just checking out, and we started talking. And she's talked about her situation in New York and her situation down in South Carolina. And the really cool thing about it, she was talking to me too, like, hey, KW is pretty good. Well, the other agency's pretty good. And we might want you to come over to the other agency. And I'm like, well, let's just talk a minute. So anyway, we were back and forth talking. And when we found
I was doing my job, Rob.
Right.
You were. And then so I get a text back from her that the other agency's cap in South Carolina was whatever it was, 12, 14.
22.5 was in New York and South Carolina.
Then the other cap at the other agency in New York was 22 something. And I'm thinking to myself, this is like a no-brainer. I mean, even I can close this deal. So I called her back and said, Nancy, all this is great, but I don't think I really want to make the switch. Matter of fact, there's only one cap. It's just 16,000. She says, you're kidding. Send me the logo. I'm changing all of my stuff. And there's so many other agents probably that are in the same boat that they're paying not only just caps but fees that when they get to the end of the year and start adding their numbers up, they just really figure out how much money, like you mentioned, Jay, that other people are making in lieu of the people that are doing the work. And that's the beautiful thing about eXp is that it's aligned for agent success, and all the laws of success and all the laws that apply to any business. If you help enough other people get what they are looking to get, then you will be rewarded. And that's how eXp is totally aligned that way. So any other agents that would really like to see ways that they could benefit, not only through commissions, but through helping other agents get what they are looking to get, then you will be rewarded. And that's how eXp is totally aligned that way. So any other agents that would really like to see ways that they could benefit, not only through commissions, but through helping other agents get what they are looking to get, then you will be rewarded. And that's how eXp is totally aligned that way. So any other agents that would really like to see ways that they could benefit, not only through commissions, but through stock and through rev share by helping other people, which a lot of us like to do, right? So
Right.
it's just, that's the way the whole thing is set up, and it's beautiful the way it works.
Right. It is. It's a beautiful thing. And it's, when you see the growth that this company's having, it can no longer be ignored. I mean, we're on pace now to, quickly, I think we just passed 70,000 agents, and, it sounds crazy. I mean, we were at 39,000 at the beginning of this year. So tremendous growth, and forecasted tremendous growth for the next, 4 years, 5 years. I mean, really, I don't know when we're ever going to stop growing, but, because it truly, I mean, truthfully, this is the only brokerage that you can be at to get paid. That you can and should be getting paid to be here. You actually aren't paying them anything. And once that kind of sinks in, that's when, okay, wait a minute. But, even for me, like as an independent brokerage that came over, at first, my initial thought, because I thought about the typical franchise model and not eXp's model, because I'd never seen anything like it. And so, I'm just doing the math. I'm like, I'm not going to pay anything. I felt like we had the training and technology and everything we needed to be successful. There was no reason in my mind why I would ever join, until I realized, okay, well, I'm actually getting paid to be at eXp. I'm not paying them anything, right? And so, and that's an opportunity that everyone has, and having the ownership piece as well, in the stock in a publicly traded company. That's a huge piece and a huge win for agents. I think it's difficult as an agent to barely save enough for, to pay your taxes, much less to save for your future. And, this is my 25th year in real estate. So I could tell you that, I wish I'd have had stock in a company all this time. It would have been great. It would have been a nice little nest egg I would have had. Right. And so all of those pieces just, when you really look at it and you look at your career, and, like you said, Rob, you really look at the math, like that's, a lot of companies make it, they make it difficult to even know how much you're actually paying them, because they make things difficult to read as far as your splits and how they change and when they go up or down and what fees there are and that kind of thing. And so agents are sometimes, not even aware of how much money they're paying over what they could be if they were at eXp.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the benefit of everything. And Nancy's just an awesome agent. She's got a ton of experience. She just was killing it in New York. And tell us, Nancy, why did y'all move to South Carolina? I'm glad you did. I'm just curious.
You really have to ask that question.
Well, you don't have to answer it if you want to.
Understand the state of New York and what I came from. We were just looking to escape. It was pretty bad up there. A year and a half basically in jail, not being allowed to go out anywhere. And we found a beautiful place on Lake Murray, and we came down just to visit our friends and said, hey, let's look. So we found this within like 5 days, and it was a deal that we couldn't pass up. We have 3 acres on Lake Murray.
Awesome. And
it's our dream house. And, that's just the way it's, the two states are so different, and I had to learn, we both had to learn to smile again and to be happy and to not, well, my first experience, and this is funny, my first experience at the grocery store. So I go into Publix and I have my cart, it's full because we're now it's my first grocery shopping experience. And this gentleman comes up and he grabs my cart. Me being from New York, I'm like, hey, it's my cart. He goes, no, ma'am. Would you like me to help you? I was like, no, I'm fine. I can do it myself. And he's like, oh, but we normally do that. And I was like, you do what? And he goes, well, we normally bring your cart out to your car. And I was like, you do? So, it was like my first shopping experience was just like amazing to me. And then not only did they bring it out, but he loaded the groceries in the car and he told me, have a nice day. And that stuff never happens, so it was, I'm just loving it down here. And I love the people down here, and they're just wonderful people, and it makes a big difference also in your career and in your job, because if the mentality is different of being cautious and being, don't let your guard down and stuff like that, it really affects the way that you work. And down here, it's totally opposite. So I feel so much more relaxed and so happy, and being able to help other people that's my main goal, is to help other agents who are struggling with where they are at, or helping people who are taking a test make that decision or that jump to get to EXP.
Right.
I'm right there. I'm on board because I want to help as many people as possible.
Right. That really is I think the most rewarding, and I love selling houses. I loved helping people sell, and I loved helping people buy. Really enjoyed it. But at a certain point, I learned that, I really enjoy helping change people's trajectories of their lives. That is something that really is fulfilling. And so, at eXp, we're encouraged to do that, and we're compensated to do that. And so, it makes sense for us to invest the time in doing it, as opposed to always just selling houses. And so it's a great opportunity. It's a great feeling. And in real estate, we were talking to a new agent it was another KW situation. They'd been there for a year, and they were struggling, and they needed help with getting clients. That the bottom line is, in real estate, if you don't learn how to get clients, then you're not going to be in real estate very long. I mean, it's
and
not
nobody
that
will help you get clients.
No. And this goes back to the disruptive model of eXp. And one of the reasons it's disruptive is the traditional franchise model was you're all competitors in the same marketplace, if nothing else. You can say, oh, we're the same company, but you're really all independent contractors competing against each other. So the best ideas are not going to get shared publicly in the office. I can guarantee that. We used to have clients all over the place that and we would be coaching them, and they would never tell anyone about us because they didn't want any of their competition in their office knowing that they were getting coached from us. And because we had a lot of great things we could help them with. And so we would have people that would call us that had been listening through the walls of them on coaching calls, figured out it was us, and they would call us and try to hire us as coaches and stuff. And it's because the agents they're just not going to share what's working best for them. They're not going to share it in inside the brick and mortar office business model. And so you tend to have to figure it out on your own. And there's a lot of really bad things you can invest in out there that don't really work. And then there's some things that do work, but you don't really know how long it takes for it to start working. And there's just so much when you can have clarity and confidence in a plan that you're going to stick to right out of the gate. That's extremely helpful for an agent that's maybe new or struggling. And so, we're going to make a lot more agents a lot more successful here. And we're going to, in the meantime, I think we're all going to build a lot more wealth at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Nancy has been involved in coaching at her other agency. So we're looking to help people, new agents, experienced agents, et cetera, as they want to, grow their business. If anybody, is out there that's looking to do that. So tell us a little bit about that, Nancy, if you could, your experience as being involved in coaching and productivity.
Okay, so basically my job, but I hate calling it a job because I love helping people. So it was really helping them find how to make an income, right? So I would go ahead and I would find people who are taking a test, the real estate test, and I would help them and be on board with helping them study or any questions they might have regarding the legalization of certain forms and why we do the things that we do. After they pass their course, of course, in New York, you have to have a brokerage first before you take your test because they have to pull your license and stuff. So just getting them on board and talking with me and letting them know that here's somebody, a realtor out there that can help them study, help them explain things. And then when they did pass their test, I was able to go ahead and talk to them even more about what that agency was all about and profit sharing and everything like that. Once they came on board, they still stayed with me for their first 10 houses. I would help them with the transaction from very beginning of cold calling, telling them different ways to cold call, getting their confidence up, making them understand how important public speaking and communication is, how important eye contact is. I mean, it really comes down to your confidence in yourself, right? So we would I would have each one of our agents do an assessment, a personal assessment, which then I got the report from. So then I knew exactly, okay, this one is really an introvert, but this one's really an extrovert. So you have to handle them a little bit different. And after
assessment,
like
a DISC assessment.
Yes, right. And then after that, talking to them and getting them motivated. And in New York, it was hard because we weren't allowed to have open houses. We weren't allowed to cold call. We weren't allowed to do anything as a realtor. So it was very hard, even making money because we weren't allowed to do anything. But just getting them involved in regular conversations, handing out their card in the grocery store to people who are right there, just spurring up conversation, and then getting them to their first transaction and walking them through with the forms on that, and then until they close. So it formed a lot of really good friendships for me, and I love that because they will always remain my friends. And I don't care if I don't get any asset out of that money-wise, but it's all about personal relationships, right? And that's what our life is all about, is helping other people. And I was fortunate enough that they asked me to become a productivity coach, and I did. And I absolutely loved every second of it. And I love doing what I'm doing right now, being on this podcast with you and Jay, because if there's one person out there that just joined eXp and they're lost and they're a new agent, please just, give me a call or hook up with Rob, and we can walk you through so that you're not confused. There's a lot of stuff.
There is
a lot of stuff. Legal stuff.
Nancy's just gone through it all, so she's got it really fresh in her mind.
Right. There's a lot at any company that you join getting into real estate. There's no question about that.
There is.
But yeah, if you feel lost, and that is one of the things, that if there is a chink in the armor of eXp, is that you may have joined under someone who maybe isn't doesn't know how to help you best, right? And that might be a different experience for some agents that come on board. And so being aligned with the right people, I think is we talk about it a lot, but I think that's one of the biggest decisions you're making when you join eXp, and you want to have the right group that can help you, and that have systems in place to help you, and they have a track record of success of helping others find success. These are all obvious things, but you really don't know what you don't know when you're an agent that's new or struggling. You haven't ever ran into anything like this, so that's probably why you're struggling. And so it's a great feeling. I highly recommend anybody this listening, or if you know an agent that's maybe not living up to their potential and hasn't seen this, you might tag them in it or share it with them, or at least have a phone conversation. If it's there's no cost to know, you have nothing to lose, only information to gain.
And if I can interrupt you, Jay, for 1 second, one thing that is very important is time management, right? So, and I want that to broadcast to even veterans of agents, if you've been in there for years, still your time management is so important. I have 3 companies I'm running. I'm running my real estate, I'm running a drone company, and I'm running my own photography company, along with my son's self-defense studio. So, yes, that's a lot of things to handle, but I'm able to manage it and put it into the time frame that I need it to be. And that's the road to success with anything that you do. You always sit down in the morning and make your list, right? And you break it up. What's important, what's mediocre, and what I'd like to do. And as long as you get done the things that are immediate, that you need to do and fulfill in your particular career, then the rest of the day is good. So it's all about, wake up in the morning, get good sleep, have your breakfast, go to the gym, do your stuff, your personal stuff, and then get back to your desk and make that list and start plowing it out. Because everybody can do anything that they want to do and go as far as they want to go in life. And the only thing that stops us is ourselves and our mind. So you always got to be very open with your mind and know that you can succeed anywhere that you go.
Well said. Well said.
Where do I sign? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Agreed. Love it. That's a great information for sure. So what's a good way for someone to reach out to you, Nancy or Rob, if they're interested or open to having a conversation?
I'm going to leave that to Rob because, like I said, I'm still new to eXp, so I don't know if they can find me and where they can find me. So
that's
Rob,
fine.
Go ahead.
Please call me or text me. This is the easiest thing to do. 803-920-5130. Call me or text me. Of course, my email is robert.glass@exprealty.com. And I'm going to be referring people over to Nancy too. So just please contact me. We'll be glad to help you, especially in South Carolina, the Midlands, or really anywhere. But please do that. And Jay, we appreciate Jay, founder of the National Association of Expert Advisors. All the information that his organization has developed is really available to people within the Honey Badger Nation. So that's just another reason to potentially affiliate with this group.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a ton of fun. I just got back from Dallas and doing our boot camp that we do, where we do our certifications for certified home selling advisor, certified home buying advisor. It's always fun. I always enjoy it. I get to meet people and get back in the room face to face with people, which is nice. And all that stuff is included when you partner with us. That's really what this is. You're not just joining a company; it's a partnership where we have a vested interest in your success. So all the things that we used to charge a lot of money for are all included. So can't beat that deal. Cool. So guys, I appreciate you guys jumping on. I'm so glad that you're part of the family, Nancy. And as always, you can always reach out to me anytime for anything you need. And same to you, Rob. I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure to jump on and have a conversation. And look forward to growing and prospering together, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you.
Yep.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.